From losing $234,060 in a single day from back-to-back bad trades,
Bro, I'm fucking sick. I lost $234,000 in sick.
to smashing your own monitor after ignoring every warning sign, these are the moments where traders tried to outsmart the market, but the market outsmarted their wallets instead. Starting with Lil Crazy Trade, a creator known less for his trading advice and more for his lifestyle content. The warning signs appear before he even places a trade. His primary goal for the day is to lose every single cent in his $150,000 funded account.
They wanted me trying to blow my 150K funded account.
And if that wasn't enough, he skips market analysis entirely and lets a coin decide whether he'll buy or sell.
Heads, I'm going longs. Tails, I'm going short.
The coin lands in favor of a buy trade, so he opens a 15-unit long position. At this point, the outcome almost feels inevitable. So even though the market is a gamble by nature, your job as a trader is to remove as much randomness as possible, not add more of it. This next trader does exactly that.
Shorts. Longs it is. I gotta get max, bro. Come on. Give me that 15, alright? Longs. Fuck it. 300. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? What?
Impress me, baby girl. Let me see you do your dance, let me see you twirl. Shake a dance in the club with your homegirls. Take a pic for the gram, show the whole world. Yeah. Is that your bestie? I'm an ice bowl for y'all like
How the fucking fuck? Yo, what?
This Southern Korean girl is a crypto trader who's pretty well known for crashing out on bad calls. The day starts optimistically. She's hopeful about making 10 million South Korean yen, about 6,700 bucks. But that optimism doesn't last long. Almost immediately, her viewers turn on her, flooding the stream with trolling comments.
한마디만 드릴게요. 일단 그동안 저보고 시드 누가 이렇게 쥐꼬리 시드 가져왔냐고 맨날 놀리고 나한테 너는 왜 방송 시드가 그따구냐고 나 놀리게.
Regardless, Judu remains adamant about reaching that 10 million South Korean yen milestone.
너네 죽어봐라 나 이거 1억 만들 거니까. 나 이제
So she starts to trade with 3 short contracts on Bitcoin.
야 2천만원 코앞이다.
And she's celebrating. A bit too early for that, but she hasn't realized yet that her happiness would be short-lived.
야 담보금 2천만원. 야 오늘 찍어보라 2천만원. 누나 담보금 2천 찍었다. 아이씨 안돼 이거.
Maybe that was a sign from God to stop trading, but Judu seems way too hopeful in her call. At least she's making a profit for now, but soon enough, the market starts to look like it could reverse at any given time.
야 너무 슬퍼요. 여러분들 너무 슬죠. 너무 슬.
Bitcoin has already printed multiple consecutive bearish candles. At this point, Judu's call is becoming overextended. Many traders would avoid opening a fresh short here because the probability of a relief bounce increases after such a sharp drop. But Judu ignores that sign even after the chat explicitly tells her to go short.
춤만 치면은 돈이 벌리는데 못하러 롱을 쳐.
What's more is that she already had about $600 in profit for the day. For most beginner traders, that amount is more than enough, but Judu doesn't end her trade.
잠깐만. 춤이야! 야, 한 공기 더 샀는데, 야, 네 공기 숏으로 간다. 진정한 고수는 춤예로 대응하는 것이다. 야, 일어나서 트로폴로 보자.
She loses about $1,590 in the first few minutes, but decides to add another short contract.
춤만 치면은 돈이 벌리는데 못하러 롱을 쳐.
And then she goes to bed while her losses accumulate to over $3,530. This is when most traders would start focusing on risk management and end the trade, but Judu blindly stares at the screen as if some miracle could happen to undo the losses. As a result, the loss count only pushes further.
이게 말이 되냐고. 아니 잠깐만. 아니 씨발 아니 잠깐만.
She finally ends the trade at a loss of over $11,000, but her reaction is anything but composed. And right when you think things couldn't get any worse, she takes her frustration out on her own trading setup. By that point, the damage was already done. She ignored the chance to lock in profits, ignored repeated warnings from her chat, doubled down instead of cutting risk, and only admitted the mistake after the market had already made the decision for her. This next trader, however, seems to be good at making calls. Unfortunately, he ignores the one warning sign he gave himself before he even enters the trade. This is Alex G Trades, a successful trader with an even more successful community of traders. Like every good trader, Alex starts the day with a very optimistic note.
And I'm talking about an easy $250,000, 300K this week without a fucking doubt in my mind.
He gets straight to business and maps out the market almost perfectly. Throughout the session, he predicts the AUD-JPY breakdown nearly candle for candle, spots the USD CAD reversal before it happens, and avoids multiple losing setups simply because they don't meet his rules. Honestly, his analysis is solid. But then he throws all of that out the window.
Influences on this trade, I am purely basing this trade off that we are at the lowest point that we have ever historically been. That is literally it.
Even without confluences, apart from the fact that price is at historical lows, Alex goes long with the trade. Regardless, he goes long with a USD CHF, but not without calling it the worst trade of his life in the very next sentence.
We're literally buying it right now. I'm even going to turn up the volume so you guys could hear it. All right. This is probably one of the worst trades I have ever taken with the least amount of confluences. I'm going to go with less risk than I normally go with, but my stop loss is going to be at an area where I literally doubt that it will ever hit it.
Alex's first warning sign was ignoring his own trading plan. He repeatedly says he wants to wait for market confirmation, but abandons all of those rules the moment he gets impatient. His second warning sign was pure overconfidence. Instead of placing his stop loss where the market would objectively prove his trade wrong, he places it at a level he simply doesn't believe price will reach. He even enters a trade on a smaller account, but soon afterwards, he's hit with a 6-figure reality check to his bank balance. Instead of bouncing, USD CHF continues falling. Eventually, the price drops far enough to hit his stop loss, automatically closing the trade for a loss.
Well, honestly, that didn't even take a fucking hour, bro. Jesus, we're already breaking the lows, bro. I mean, honestly, what can I can't be mad at myself. I said this before I even took the trade. This is an extremely high-risk degen trade. Yeah, that's really all I got. I accepted this faith. I really thought I was that guy for a second. I mean, there's still hope, but yeah.
But all of that hope is lost shortly afterwards.
Fuck, man. Fuck. I fucking knew it, bro.
And here is his reaction to the AUD-JPY trade he predicted exactly candle for candle, but didn't take.
I know what pisses me off even more than this. Bro. You wanna know what the fuck pisses me off even more than this shit right here? Fuck! Motherfucker.
Also, here's his take on the rest of the trades he anticipated.
Yo, it's crazy. I avoided this loss this week. That's a W. I missed out on this W. Beautiful 1 to 2 risk to reward trade. Trade would have literally gone to the take profit perfectly, exactly how I anticipated. And as of right now, I've missed out on this trade right here, bro. So textbooks.
But for now, he's sitting on a combined loss of $174,000.
Oh, let me just show you guys as well. We lost $153,000 on this trade right here. So let me show you guys what it's looking like. So we lost $153,000 on one of the main personal accounts. So it's 153 bendos. And then on the other account that I'm trying to flip, we lost 10,000 on that one. So we've taken 2 losses back to back on that account.
Seems like a very bad day for Alex, but at least his students make some profit from his calls, which he himself didn't take.
Right there. So, and you know what's fucked up?
So maybe Alex really is a great coach. He just couldn't take his own advice. But this next trader just doubles down on the same trade where he lost his money at TJR Trades. This is TJR Trades, one of the biggest trading creators on YouTube. He's known for posting his wins, his losses, and every emotional roller coaster in between. And today is definitely the latter. Like every trading day, TJR starts off confident. He spots a bullish SMT divergence between the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. This divergence happens when two closely related markets stop moving in sync. If one market makes a new low while the other doesn't, traders see it as a sign that selling pressure is weakening and a move higher could be coming. TJR places his bets on the divergence and wants to go long.
Today looks pretty good because we're forming this bullish SMT divergence. Nasdaq swept out these Asia session lows. These are previous day lows, while ES is still above them. These are previous day lows. Nasdaq again came down, swept out Asia session lows, and then we have London session lows, Asia session lows, previous day, London session highs, Asia session highs, previous day highs, all stacked up, low resistance, draws on liquidity to the upside. I would like to be bullish today. One, we have this bullish SMT divergence. Two, we have three previous session highs all stacked up together, forming a strong confluence and strong draws.
But one signal alone isn't enough for him. Instead of rushing in, he waits patiently for additional confirmation before risking his money.
Once we get this SMT divergence though, we're still going to need price to play out a little bit. So just because we get this SMT divergence, we're still in technically a downtrend on the 5-minute. But since we have this SMT divergence, it's telling us that price is going to want to change directions.
The confirmation finally arrives. Convinced the setup is valid, TJR opens a long position on the Nasdaq, expecting the rally to continue.
Okay, so I'm going to go long here on Nasdaq. Just entered. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be a good draw for me on Nasdaq. This is a good draw right here though. These equal highs. We can go all the way up here as well.
Moments later, he doubles down by opening a second long position, this time on the S&P 500. Since both indices usually move together, he's now betting that the broader US stock market is about to rally. In other words, however, he's stacking exposure on the exact same bullish idea.
Okay, Nasdaq, I got stopped out. Damn, ES, I got stopped out as well.
TJR loses over $67,000 with two bad trades. Most traders would just call it a day at that, but TJR isn't ready. He spots another SMT divergence and decides to go long again.
ES just swept out these lows while Nasdaq is above these lows. This is going to be an SMT divergence. I'm going long on Nasdaq.
Disclaimer, he's not. The bullish SMT divergence he saw and based his entire trade on was complete bullshit. He'd convinced himself that he was seeing a signal that simply wasn't there. Minutes later, the market proves him wrong again. Surprisingly, he stays remarkably composed.
Yeah, just fucking sucks that it had to play out that way. It is what it is though. We're going to make it all back and we're going to make more money on top of it.
At this point, he's avoiding the screen as if that's going to reverse the market in his favor, but it only gets worse from here.
Oh my god. Dog. Oh my god. Today was bad, bro. I lost, bro. I'm fucking sick. I lost $234,000 and $234,060.
By the end of the day, TJR is down $234,060. A loss that would financially devastate most people, but for him, it's simply another losing day. He's had worse. Still, that doesn't change the fact that he made some really bad decisions on this trade. But sometimes, having an unrealized profit is more hurtful than a realized loss. Here, TJR goes long on a Solana meme coin called Trim, paired against SOL. The DEX screener chart shows a sharp rally followed by a volatile pullback before climbing back toward its highs. Obviously, TJR went high, but he pulled back earlier and didn't make almost $500,000. His reaction to that is anything but composed.
Let me do the calculator. I literally would be up a 3 fucking X, and I had 180K worth of it. Oh my God, bro. I literally would have 540 rats right now.
Now, here's what's interesting. TJR's mistake wasn't pulling back early. Microcap Solana tokens like this are extremely volatile and largely driven by speculation alone. You can't really make any informed decisions based on the charts since they usually move on sentiment activity rather than clean patterns. The bigger mistake was reacting so strongly to the loss. That kind of emotional response is often what pushes traders to jump back straight into the market, chasing the loss, and that's usually when they end up losing even more in these volatile conditions. But when it comes to emotional trading, here's a trader who seemed to have it almost entirely under control until he had a slip up of his own. This is Ross Cameron, one of YouTube's biggest day trading educators. Ironically, the warning signs start before the market even opens. Ross admits he's become a little complacent after months of profitable trading.
I think that I've been in a place where I've been a little complacent from the market being so forgiving. And that allowed me to break one very critical rule in today's.
He starts the day by looking at GLTO, a biotech stock. Although GLTO didn't have much news of its own, just the day before, another biotech stock, SPRB, had exploded in value.
It is a biotech stock, and yesterday, context, we had a biotech stock that made a phenomenal move. It was SPRB. Unbelievably, this stock went from about $16 a share to $360. Holy moly, this is crazy. And it was a biotech stock. Now, it had news.
Ross makes two rookie mistakes. First, he still hung up on SPRB since he missed trading it the day before. Second, he places too much confidence in GLTO based on SPRB alone without much real confluence backing the trade. Despite that, Ross buys nearly 10,000 shares as GLTO approaches resistance. Within seconds, the stock rejects. He loses roughly $2 per share, putting him down almost $20,000 on his very first trade of the day.
I end up adding right there at 29.27. Now, in this archive, you can see how much I'm up per share. So I'm in at $29.27, and you can see right here, it dips back down, and within an instant, I'm down $2 a share. Look at this rejection. And so I end up taking the loss, and I'm red $20,000 on my first trade.
And then he makes another mistake by getting emotional about the trade.
And to be honest, my feeling at that moment is like anger, frustration. It feels like this is so typical. Yesterday we have these huge moves. I kind of undercapitalized on it. Today,
this emotional instability leads him to another bad trade.
A trade on CISS right here. I buy this for the breakthrough VWAP. I'm looking for that squeeze higher. And it ends up that although it pops up a little bit higher, it doesn't end up holding up very well. It rejects fairly violently, and I only made $2,000 on it. Now, the problem with this is I would say this is another bad trade.
And then another bad trade.
Then next thing you know, we've got ZNB, which pops up, which surprises me that it ends up moving as well as it does. I take a loss in the small account on it, $53, and I end up losing $13,000 in my main account. I try to trade it.
Ross admits the trade was idiotic and even embarrassing to show, but at that point, he was in a state of emotional hijack. His frustration had completely overwritten his judgment. Soon afterwards, he catches a quick $5,000 winner on ZNB. For most traders, that would simply reduce the damage, but for Ross, it restores something much more dangerous: his confidence.
And B, it curls back up. I end up making $5,000 on it. You know, okay, maybe that is relevant. You know, I had a little winner there. Maybe that gave me a little bit of like, okay, now you know what you're doing. And then
Moments later, he dives right back into GLTO. This time, the trade actually works. At one point, he's even sitting on roughly $35,000 in unrealized profit. That's more than enough to erase the morning losses and finish the day green. But instead of locking it in, he buys even more shares.
GLTO, I flip to this, I see it squeezing up, and I'm like, okay, it's game time. Now, let's back this up. It looks like I had GLTO on my side chart and I jumped in it at $32.35 and I bought about 15,000 shares. And that's a pretty big position. So GLTO, I pull it up on my main chart and right here it's at 34.75. So I'm up almost $3 a share. I'm up about $35,000 unrealized P&L.
His position balloons to 40,000 shares
Here for the break of 35. And so my cost basis goes up to 34 right there. And I've now added, and I've got 40,000 shares.
But seconds later, the stock completely collapses.
And then all of a sudden right there, I'm down $1 a share. I'm down $2.50 a share. I'm down 80 grand. So my P&L, I'm looking at it and I'm down $3 a share. I'm down $3.50. And then it breaks 30 and I'm starting to sell, and look at that number getting bigger and bigger.
His P&L eventually bottoms out at nearly negative $195,000. GLTO eventually climbed back toward $35, adding insult to the injury. But looking back, Ross still says that cutting the trade was the right decision. The stock had repeatedly faked multiple breakouts before collapsing. Holding on in such a market is nothing more than hope, and that's complete gambling.
This candle where we dropped from 34 down to about $25 a share. We lost almost 10 points in one candle. That would have been a $400,000 loss. So in the moment when it's dropping, like it did right here, this is the candle that I lost on, you don't know how much it's going to keep going down. All you know is that you're in at 34 and you're down $5 a share and it's still dropping. And if this thing keeps going, if you don't cut it, I mean, what are you going to do? Just keep holding it forever? You can't. You cannot. You have to cut your loss. So I cut my loss. It rallies back up and then knifes down again. Then it, sort of sells off a little bit more at the open. I was like, nope, I'm not taking any more trades on it. Continues to chop around, halting up, halting down. It hasn't, and it's not to say that it might not give an opportunity for some traders later.
Ross admits he made one of the oldest mistakes in trading, which is increasing risk after already becoming emotionally compromised. Instead of reducing his position size after the first loss, he kept sizing up in an attempt to recover faster, but that only compounded his loss.
I literally talked about this yesterday. I talked about that first big loss, how you get emotionally compromised, it leads you to increase your quantity of trades and increase your share size, and then what happens? You lose more money. So now you lose even more money times 2, and then it spirals. So end this cycle as soon as you can. As for Ross, he still wasn't ready to call it a day and continue observing the market. Eventually, he made the only disciplined trade of the day. And then we had ULY. We had several stocks that squeezed up today. So as this one squeezes up, I was watching it, and it made this fantastic move from $4 up to $6 to $7 to $8. It's the right price stock. These higher price stocks, you look at that loss on February 4th, 2021, it was a $30 stock again, right? So these lower price stocks tend to be better for me. So this ends up squeezing higher, it dips down, and I let it pull back and I buy the first candle to make a new high right down here. This is a good setup, and I ended up making $23,000 on it.
That got his net loss for the day to negative $172,000. So if there's one takeaway from all of this, it's simple. Stick to your trading plan. The market will always test your discipline, but the moment you abandon your rules is usually the moment things start falling apart. If you've ever made a trading mistake you'll never forget, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.